Hello witches, it's Lucca, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4, and today we are building another tiny home. Today I am building in Brindleton Bay. This is on a 20 by 20 lot that is known as the Bedlington Boathouse. It is one of my favorite lots in Bedlington? No, that's not what it's called. In Brindleton Bay. It's so pretty, and it's right next to the ocean, and you get some really beautiful views. You've got the trees surrounding, and honestly, Brindleton Bay, genuinely one of the best worlds that we've ever gotten in The Sims 4. What an icon. This home is actually a tiny house today, y'all. It is a tier 1? Yeah, it's a tier 1 tiny house, so it's a micro home. Or is that tier 3? Tier 1. I always get those backwards in my head, but it's a 31 tiled tiny home. It's perfect. I really love the exterior, but I will just be honest with you, the interior is kind of just, it's just okay. I like it. You might like it a lot more than I do, but I'm just saying, yeah, I don't know. I've been feeling a little bit burnout lately when it comes to The Sims 4. It's been a real struggle, if you can't tell, with my video uploading lately, as there has been next to no videos for like a year. I feel like I go into these little spells of uploading, and then I quit for a while, and then I come back, and it's just like it's a constant back and forth. And I thought I'd talk about that just a little bit before I get into the build too much. But basically I have ADHD. I've talked about that before, but I've learned that that's really how ADHD works. Like, no matter how hard I try to keep to a routine, it's always just going to be, you know, a struggle to keep up with anything, because with my brain, it constantly is shifting into different moods, different, not moods necessarily, but different modes almost. Like, I'll be really creative and then I'll be really not. And it's just like, it's kind of a constant back and forth. And yeah, doing the same things over and over for a person with ADHD is kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes it works really well, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's my biggest thing that I've learned about. So I'm just taking it easy with making content for my YouTube channel anymore. I'm just uploading whenever I can, and I'm not keeping to a strict schedule because I can't keep to a strict schedule, let's be honest. But with all that aside, I will just talk about the build just a little bit. So this is for a hermit, I think, like just like a seaside hermit. They just live here alone. I can imagine it's like a I don't want to say middle age. I hate using words like that, but I can just see a woman living here, just kind of minding her own business, just doing her own thing. You know, she has some chickens out back, and she, you know, makes her way into town once in a while, but this is just her little sanctuary away from the hustle and bustle, because maybe she went through a bad relationship or a bad marriage, and she just wanted to get away from the city, and so she decided to move back to Brindleton Bay. Maybe she already lived there when she was growing up, and then just decided to move back, and then you know, just maybe this is one of those Hallmark specials where it's just the same story over and over. Woman goes back to her small town to meet this guy that she hated in high school, but now they kind of like each other vibe. You know what I mean? I shouldn't talk smack about the Hallmark films, because let's face it, that's what Harry Potter fan fiction is. Like, it's basically the same story just over and over, rewritten just very slightly differently, but hey, it's fine. We're here. You know. But this is actually being recorded on the first day of 2023. I don't know when you all will be seeing this video particularly, but Happy New Year. Do not set any resolutions for yourself that you feel like you can't keep, that you feel like you don't want to keep, or you feel like you need to keep, because guess what? It doesn't matter. Time is made up. Yeah, so if you do want to set yourself some goals, how about we set some realistic goals that maybe for the month or maybe for this week? You know, don't go too crazy, because that's what I'm doing. I'm basically I'm giving myself a really small goal for this year. That is something that I definitely feel like I can keep up, that I've already actually started before the year ended. And that's just kind of decluttering and getting rid of things that I don't need. And when I say that, I don't just mean like physical objects, but I need to start like letting go of things and like these concepts that I'm so used to, just so that I can feel that weight lift and I can feel like my ADHD kind of, relax a bit, because, I tend to kind of be a little bit, and I don't mean this in a derogative way, because there's, I feel for the people that experience this, but I tend to have a little bit of hoarding tendencies, slightly, just for like little things, like things that I think that I might need to keep or that I might need to use in the future, or I feel guilty for getting rid of. I'm letting all that go this year, and I'm just going to keep what brings me joy, get rid of what doesn't. And if it doesn't bring me joy, then it's going to go to somewhere else or in the garbage, which is unfortunate, but I'll try to donate things. But anyways, I digress. Y'all, I have ADHD, didn't I tell you that? So I will go back and forth between talking about the build and talking about my own nonsense, and that's fine. But I'm building this little front yard here, which I love the front yard of this house. I think the exterior is my favorite part of the house. The interior is really cute. I really like it, but the exterior, I added all sorts of little details. Now, this is a dog house. I don't believe that dogs should always be outside. I think that there should be inside and outside. They're part of your family. They need to be in and out. It doesn't matter about dirt or grime or whatever. If you don't want dirt, then you don't need a dog. Just saying. But I always like the idea of like having a dog that is both inside and outside. They like being outside, and they need like a little house to just like, maybe they want to hang out in, or maybe they want to cool off in or something when they're outside, or maybe you let them out and it's raining, but they don't really want to come inside, so they can just lay in their little dog house. I didn't put a pet bed in this house, but I just imagine that they just sleep on the couch or something. But yeah, I like that idea. And also out back, I built a little chicken coop area, which is what I'm starting on right now. The chicken coop obviously came with the cottage living expansion pack. If you didn't have cottage living, I would say making this like another garden back here would be really nice. Or maybe you could turn it into like a little play area or something. There's a lot of different things you can do in backyards, but I realized like all the stuff that I normally put in backyards, I put in the front yard this time. So I was like, I need to turn this little spot into something that's useful and very usable. I kind of want to go back to this build and just add a little gate out the back way so that they can like walk through their chicken area to get to the rest of the area outside of their lot, instead of having to walk all the way around their house, because I just thought of that. But let me tell you, I did not spend very long on the interior of this house. Like, we are already like over halfway through this build, and I haven't even started the interior yet. It took me next to no time because I really didn't decorate it a whole heck of a lot, but I did have to go through do a little bit of a process of figuring out how to do the interior. So I did have to edit some of it out. So that's probably why it's a little shorter, but yeah. So essentially, when you walk into the house, there is a nice little laundry space that also is where the bathroom is. I know it's a little bit weird, but I think it makes sense for a house this small. And then there is an archway that leads into the rest of the house, which is like a living, sleeping, like kitchen area. It's all kind of mushed together because it is a tiny home. You can't have a lot of walls in tiny homes, or it feels even smaller and more cramped, which in some ways you can make it work if you do that. Like, you can easily make a room or a house work if they have a lot of small rooms. That's probably a nice little challenge, but opening the spaces up and keeping it just like one room essentially is the best way to do it, so that it feels cohesive. It feels like it's not being split up, and it just feels more open and spacious that way. I wanted to go for like a rustic and just light blue kind of vibe. I start with the green here, of course, because you know me, my heart just goes to the green. The color is just my favorite color, so I tend to just gravitate towards it naturally. But I was like, the exterior is kind of like that blue vibe, so I need to just go with blue vibes in here. And let me tell you, figuring out the daggone bed for this house was a challenge and a half, because I genuinely dislike every single bed in this game. There is like 2 that I like, and that's it. And it's one from the Dream Home Decorator pack that has absolutely no headboard, and the cheap one from the Werewolves pack. That's it. The rest of them, I could go without. I really just don't like any of them. The only one that I actually know, let me correct myself. There's one more that I do like, and it's one from the high school years pack, and that's it. Just the first swatch. The rest of them, not so great. But yeah, I eventually figure it out. I used this bed from the Eco Lifestyle pack. It just took up the least amount of space. It gave the general vibe that I wanted, and you know what? It works. It's cheap and it's nice. It has like that blue tone that I wanted, and it's a little rustic because of the worn spaces there. But yeah, I really don't spend that much time doing this little interior because honestly, I was feeling like it didn't need a whole lot of stuff. Also, because it's a hermit, she doesn't really like need a lot of stuff. Maybe she keeps it all tucked away nice and neat. But yeah, that's really it. Honestly, I go through and add a little bit of bits and bobs here and there, some wallpaper, and then we'll be done. But yeah, that is everything. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments any types of builds you want me to try out. I'm obviously going to probably try to do more tiny homes. I'm just going to focus on tiny homes, at least for a little while. But I might be doing some different kinds of videos of different games and such. Like I think I might be doing some Minecraft soon. I actually have a Minecraft video already edited, which I know. Who am I? But yeah, you can find this house on the gallery under my username luccaowens. It is LUCCAOWENS, and then under the hashtag Lucca, I think, if not the EAID. But that is all. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Drink some water. Take your vitamins. Take your allergy pill because I needed to. And you don't want to be stuffy today. But anyways, Happy New Year. Happy New Queer. Happy New Year, you, me. I just had to say it all. But anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird. And I will speak to you all next time. Goodbye, witches.